Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name's Jason. Thanks for watching. If you guys are in the market for a power station, this is a video you're going to want to see. Now, after about 5 minutes of jumping on the internet, you're going to be blown away with all the choices of power stations. Each of them have different price points, features, and the performance varies, and a lot of them have issues that you want to avoid. So I've come up with a power station grading system based on 10 points that include performance, price, and included features, and also issues. So hopefully you guys are excited to see how this works. Now, before jumping into showing you how the grading system works, yes, I have a limited pool here. These are not all the power stations that are available right now, and of course, future ones will be coming out. So I'm hoping to collaborate with other YouTubers on this project so we can have all the information in one location so you guys can check out what scored best, narrow it down to 2 or 3 options, and then choose what works best for you. Let's jump into how the grading system works. Okay guys, I'm excited to show you this spreadsheet. Now there are 3 main sections. You have your full grading system and results on the top. You have a basic definition of terms in the middle. And then at the bottom, you have full pricing and specifications and also testing results. So let's talk about the grading system at the top first. So you have your power stations listed from best to worst here on the left. You have your discounted price that's currently available, and then you have the actual score that each of them received. Now there are 10 individual grading points. I'll talk about these here a little bit later, but basically if they passed, they got a green mark. If they failed, they got a red mark. You add up all the greens, and that's what gives you your score right here. Now say you like one of these power stations like the EB55, you can come down here and check out the EB55 at all these information marks down here. So you can see the current pricing. You can see the pricing per watt hour at the discount and MSRP, the chemistry, the weight, and all the other information about it, like the rated capacity, how it performed with the DC capacity test, the AC capacity test, and all the max charging input that I've tested on the power station. Let's go ahead and talk about the 10 grading points. Now, all the power stations that I put out for you guys as my viewers, they're good power stations. I don't put junk power stations on my channel. However, there needs to be a way to see which one's the best. And so these are really strict grading standards. So you'll see that as we move forward. So the first grading standard is, does the power station charge from 0% to 100% in under 4 hours? You can see the ones that pass there. Number 2 is if the power station has pass-through charging. This means you can discharge it and charge it at the same time and all the outputs are still enabled. Number 3, does it have a pure sine wave inverter? And number 4 is if the DC output is regulated. You can see most of them are regulated at 13 volts. And you can see I did mark a few batteries where they have direct lithium iron phosphate output. This means it's going to be around 13.3 volts to 13 volts during the entire discharge process. So these shouldn't have any issues as well. Number 5 is if the power station has a informational display. Is it missing anything like really important? And you can see the 2 top here, well, they don't have a battery percentage and they don't give you an estimated time remaining. So they failed that there. Number 6 is if the outputs auto shut off after a given amount of time. Number 7 is if it has a USB-C power delivery 100 watt output. A lot of the new power stations do have this feature, so I thought it'd be very helpful to grade all the power stations against that. Now, number 8 is about the actual capacity you get when you test it out. Does it get 85% of the rated capacity? So it really bugs me when a power station company will put out a power station and they say it has 1,000 watt hours, but you only get 700. So for this example, if all these had 1,000 watt hours, see this one would get 86% of that and it passed. So it has to be 85% or higher. So you can see there are some power stations that failed to get at least 85%. Now the 9th grading point is about solar input. Now a lot of the newer power stations have higher solar input. So I wanted to have a strict grading standard here, especially if you're using this while camping or if the power's out, you want to charge it up as fast as you can off solar. So I like to have a higher solar input. So you can see there are quite a few power stations here that have a higher solar input and then quite a few that don't. Now there are some other power stations that I want to review in the future that are small models. The Bluetti EB3A, that has 200 watts charging input, but it's only a 300 watt power station. Also, the EcoFlow River Pro also has 200 watts input. So I'm hoping to include this on the list here. So just stay tuned for those additional reviews. Number 10, the final grading point is if the price per watt hour is under 80 cents. So I think price plays a big role in purchasing a power station. So getting a good amount of power for the cost is definitely something that I wanted to grade on. So you can see if it's priced under 80 cents a watt hour, it's going to be green and it passed here. So there are a few power stations that are priced over that. Luckily, nothing here is over $1 per watt hour, and these are the discounted prices, by the way, the discounted prices you can usually find. But if you find a power station that's over $1 per watt hour, it's usually not that good of a deal, because you can get some that are down in the 60s and 70s. Okay, so that's how the grading system works. Let me know your thoughts about how it's set up. Is it going to work well, or is there something that needs to be changed? Throw a comment down below. Now, I have some other power stations I will be reviewing on the channel, like this Vinnic here. I also have the Oukitel and the CTechi 500. So be looking forward for those reviews in the future. Now, the power station that was on the top was the EB70. And the reason this is on the top because it has a great price per watt hour. It charges fast. It has a ton of output options. And the only thing that's really a downside to this power station is the screen. So if you can get past that, this is an excellent option. Now, a lot of people will be like, hey, well, why wasn't the EB55 better than this one? Well, this one is priced a little bit better. The EB55 is above 80 cents a watt hour. This, you get a better deal on capacity. Now, this being the top power station, that doesn't mean you should go out and buy this one. It just means, hey, the top 3 options in the spreadsheet, those are gonna be great options. Pick the one that works best for you. Now, hopefully you guys found this video helpful. It's pretty exciting to have a grading system because now I have some information that I can compare each power station to. I won't be just saying, hey, this is a great power station. I'll be saying, hey, look at how this power station did. Look how it graded in each of these aspects. And hopefully that information is helpful to you guys. So that brings us to the end of this video. Now stay tuned for future content. I will have these other power stations review videos out soon, mixed in with some other content like solar panel reviews, some DIY projects, things like that. Now, if you're interested in any of this content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, then you won't miss these videos. YouTube has done really weird things lately with recommended videos, and I know if you're a subscriber, you're more likely to get those recommended videos. Now, if you are a YouTube content creator or someone that tests out these power stations, make sure you reach out to me and we'll get that information all in the spreadsheet, and I'll make sure that you get credit. So if you have a video, we'll tie it into the spreadsheet. Anyway, hopefully you guys are excited for this future grading system. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.